Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So many of you guys wanted to see the makeup look that I wore in my gift guide video. It was this right here. So I decided to do a tutorial showing you guys exactly how I created it. I also thought that this would be gorgeous for Christmas Eve. So I kind of combined the two and I love this look, you guys. I'm definitely going to be wearing something like this on Christmas Eve. I just think it's a little bit different than the typical holiday look with, the red lips and the gold eyes. It's a little bit different, but it's still really wearable and still really holiday, especially with this metallic berry on the lips. I kept everything else really soft to really make that stand out, and I'm so excited to show you guys how I created this look. Before we get into the tutorial, please make sure to join the family by hitting the subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber and you want to be notified each time I post a video, just click on the little bell and you'll get notifications every time I upload. So if you guys want to see how I created this makeup look right here, which is perfect for Christmas Eve or even Christmas Day, then just keep watching. And I also want to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you guys. I hope you have a fabulous weekend with your family and friends. I love you all so much and I hope you have a great holiday. So let's get into this tutorial. Alright, I'm actually really excited to recreate this look. This is one of my favorite looks that I made this month, just because it's kind of different than anything else I've done before as far as the eyes go. I used a little bit different of a technique than I normally do, and I will tell you exactly why later. But for brows, I already have my brows on. I used the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Pencil and carved it out with the Maybelline Super Stay Better Skin Concealer. So that is all that I have on my face. I'm actually going to start with complexion first, just because the eyes are really simple, so we don't need to worry about fallout for this look. So I'm just going to go into the Maybelline Master Prime Hydrate and Smooth Primer. I really like this actually. It kind of feels like more of a lotion, which I really like, but it's not too hydrating to where, your makeup looks oily by the end of the day. So I'm just gonna put a good amount of that all over the skin. Now, the actual foundation that I was wearing in that video was the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I really liked how this wore. This is a little bit too light for me, so I'm actually going to be using a different foundation, but I wanted to let you know that's what I was wearing, and I do like it. I just need to swap it out for a different shade. So I'm going to actually go into the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I'm going to be out and about all day today, and so I wanted to make sure that my foundation lasts, and this is just one that I can always count on, so this is what I'm going to be using today. I pulled this foundation back out the other night, and I just forgot how amazing the coverage and the finish is. It's so good. If you haven't tried this foundation, go get a sample of it. It's just so amazing. The shade that I have, by the way, is 2-in-1 Desert Beige. I'm just gonna start with a little bit and kind of build it up. This blemish right here was so huge yesterday, and so I slept with one of those Peace Out acne dots on top of it, and it reduced like crazy. It's still kind of big, but not anything like it would have been. So please excuse that. Just in time for the holidays, a little gift from my skin to me. So then I'm going to take what's left on the hand with just my beauty blender, and I'm really going to work this into the skin. And I want to make sure that this foundation is blended everywhere. Since my hair is pulled back, I want to make sure that every area that's visible on the neck kind of has a light layer foundation so that everything looks seamless and the same color. I always kind of make sure to blend it on the ears too if they are visible. Holy moly, I forgot how much I love this foundation. Once it sets too, it kind of has a semi-matte finish. It's like the perfect finish actually. And it lasts all day, you guys. Like, it doesn't budge. Never gets cakey on me. I just love it. And the coverage is so natural too. Oh, so good, you guys. Seriously, if you haven't tried this, go get shade matched and you guys can get like a little sample. That's what I did when I first tried it. The first time I wore it, I was like, oh my gosh, where has this foundation been all my life? And I used up the entire sample and then I went and bought the full size. So for concealer, I'm going to be using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I just feel like that's going to look nice on top of this foundation. So I'm going to apply this underneath the eyes as usual in like a triangle shape to really brighten the area. So I'm also putting it on the chin and down the center of the face, like in the center of the forehead. On the chin, I want to mention, I tried not to go over the blemish because I don't want to accentuate that at all. So I'm going to try not to put the light concealer on top. Otherwise, that will further accentuate it and pull it forward. And it's already pretty pulled forward, so we don't want that. So I'm just going to blend this out around it a little bit and then just blend out the rest. And I'm going to take what's left on my sponge after blending out the concealer under the eyes and just pat concealer on the eyelid. And that's going to help us kind of start to prep for eyeshadow. So to set the under eyes and the rest of the face, I'm going to use the MAC Patrick Star Powder. I do not want to stop using this. It's so good. So I'm just going to take a little bit in the lid I'm gonna use a brush actually. Just first make sure that there's no creases under the eye area. Otherwise you will lock in the creases. So I'm just going to pat this under the eye area. This was not the powder that I used in the original tutorial. I think I used just the Laura Mercier translucent powder, but I love how this one has such a smoothing effect underneath the eyes. And the light peachy pink tone really helps to brighten the area as well. I'm just going to set the chin pretty much down the center of the entire face, the nose, and the center of the forehead, of course. Every time I apply this powder to the center of the forehead, it just looks so airbrushed. Like that's where I see the most difference almost is in the center of my forehead, which is kind of funny. But it just smooths over like any forehead lines that I have and makes them look so airbrushed. I'm basically just going to set the rest of the face with the same powder, just making sure to lock the foundation in place. So here is the star of the show, you guys. I really haven't seen too many people talk about this on YouTube, but it's really amazing. It looks kind of plain, but you guys will see how incredible it is and how many things you can do with this. It is the Smashbox contour palette, and I think I have the shade Light. It just has these 3 shades in it, and this is what I used on my entire face and on my eyes. I love it. So I'm going to start off by taking this banana-y yellow shade, and I'm going to just apply that right on top of the powder. And I do like to apply like a translucent powder underneath first and then go into these just because it blends over them really, really beautifully. But you'll see that it starts to really kind of highlight and brighten that area even further. I mean, that Patrick Star powder really does a great job of brightening. This will just take it a little step further. I'm also going to put some on the chin, trying not to really accentuate the blemish. I'm going to take some on a little brush and work this down the center of the nose. And the thing that's really cool about this palette too is it kind of provides a gorgeous highlighted and contoured look, but it's all with powder and it's kind of more of a matte finish. So if you're somebody who is oily maybe, this may work really well for you just because you're applying more powder, and on oily skin that would look really, really nice, you know, versus like a cream contour. So next I'm going to hop into these 2 shades. I'm going to kind of mix them. I like the ashiness of the first shade and then the warmth of the second. So mixed together, I really like the color, and I just start kind of by the cheekbones and then I move around the face, working it into the hairline a little bit. But I just think that the shades are really natural. The kit is really easy to work with and it looks gorgeous on camera and in photographs. So for like a Christmas Eve look, this would be perfect if you are going to be photographed. A lot of families take pictures on Christmas Eve, you know? So you want to make sure you're nice and sculpted. And I just keep kind of working that around the face, just building in light layers. And also making sure it's going back into the hairline. And then what I always love to do, you guys probably know this by now, I'm going to take a little bit more of the ashier shade just on an eyeshadow brush and ever so lightly sculpt the sides of the nose as well as a little bit underneath. And then you guys probably know I take that translucent powder brush and just blend everything out. So that way there's no splotchiness, everything blends nice and naturally, and you get a really beautiful airbrushed, contoured and defined effect. So now that the face is more defined, I'm going to use this on the eyes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and mix these 2 shades. I'm just using that same brush that I used for the nose contour. I want to make sure that the eyelids are set. So I'm just taking some translucent powder and brushing that over the eyelids. Now I'm taking that brush with some product on it, the 2 brown contour shades. I'm just starting to work this into the crease area. And the cool thing about using the same product is it makes the eyes look really cohesive with your face, since you have the exact same tones on the cheekbones. When you hollow out the eyes with the same color, I just like how that looks. It just looks really nice and cohesive. So I'm just blending this out, kind of bringing it into like the natural contours of the nose over here as well. Then I'm just going to take a smaller brush and define the lower lash line in the exact same way. I just mix those 2 brown shades again. They're just the perfect shades for eyeshadows as well. So now this is my favorite part of the eye look. I'm going to take another brush and take the light shade and really kind of load it with product. And this is going to be our lid shade. And this I think is really what kind of makes the makeup look, is adding that light shade. Really build it up. Don't be afraid to kind of pack on the product. And I'm almost doing like a cut crease in a way. Much more subtle, but I'm just packing it on until it's nice and bright. And I'm only taking it up to the crease. See how much brighter that makes it look? I rarely ever put shadows this light on my lid, but I have to say I really love how it looks. Once the look is all done, it just makes your eyes look nice and bright, and for some reason it looks like winter to me, so we're just gonna roll with it. If you get some of the product in the inner corner here, that's totally fine. I actually use this to highlight the inner corner of the eyes as well, and a little bit underneath. And take some, put it right under the brows. And then I'm gonna take take those two brown shades in the same contour palette and just kind of deepen up the crease a little on the outer third pretty much. I'm going to try to leave the inner third light still. So I just kind of pack that on the lid until it's as bright as I want it to be. I think that looks good for now. So then what I did was I took a brown eyeliner. This one's from Burt's Bees. It's their Nourishing Liner in Warm Brown. And I wanted a really soft wing. So that's what I created. I just scribbled it between the lashes, really close to the lash line. Because I didn't want to take away from the bright, like white lids. But I did want some definition. So I just put it along the lash line and kind of blended it out with my finger, and then I just went ahead and created a little wing with that same eyeliner really lightly. Like the point is just to keep it really soft and subtle. I just love how subtle that is, but how like dramatic it makes it at the same time. So next we're just gonna pop on some mascara. I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. I've been really loving this again, and I want 2 coats on the top and bottom lashes. And with this look I kind of wanted 60s vibes on the eyes, so I went a little heavier on the lower lash line, or on the lower lashes with mascara, just to make them a little more clumpy and defined. So what I do is kind of put a lot of mascara on, and then there's going to be some chunks left over, so I will just take my fingers after that and kind of lightly pull off any areas that are a little too clumpy for me, and then try to separate the lashes if I need to. So next I'm going to pop on some false lashes. The lashes that I was wearing are my current favorite false lashes when I do wear them. They are the Kiss lashes in the shade. They are the Kiss lashes. These are the Ritzy Natural Black lashes. I just love how these look. They kind of have a little brown mixed in them, so it's really natural. One thing I should mention, guys, if you do glue on false lashes, when you remove them, please be gentle, because the other night, last time I wore these actually, I was like in a rush. I think I was filming back to back, and so I like took off the makeup look that I had where I was wearing these lashes, and I wasn't careful. I just kind of ripped them off, and I ripped out a lot of my lashes. So just be aware of that. Be careful. Make sure that you loosen up the glue with some good makeup remover before you pull them off. I'm just going to use the Kiss Lash Adhesive, put a nice layer of that along the lash band, and then I take my tweezers and I just let them kind of air dry for a second so that the glue gets tacky. That way when you apply it, it doesn't shift around and it really sticks. So then I just kind of look down into the mirror and I place the center of the lash right on the center of my natural lashes, and then take the edges and make sure that those are sticking down. So I just try to make sure that the entire lash is nice and glued down. The inner corner is where I usually for some reason have issues. That's where the lash like always wants to pop off first. Then I'm just going to do the same thing with the other lash. So now that the lashes are on, to add that extra bit of brightness, I like to use the Benefit Highbrow, which is actually designed to kind of brighten the arch of the brow, but I like to use this in the waterline. So it's just the prettiest pinky nude shade. I'm gonna have to do this off camera. You guys know I'm not that good at doing this on camera yet. So this looks really bright at first. As the day goes on though, it fades a little bit. So it's gonna look kind of more stark when you first apply it, but it definitely fades down and it looks really nice and really just brightens up the eyes. So now let's move into blush. For blush today, I'm gonna be using something really soft and subtle. This is Makeup Geek Blind Date. It's just one of my single blushes, and I'm just going to press this on the cheeks. Since the lips are really bold, I'm not going to apply like too much blush. So next I really want to make sure that the brows look nice, so I'm just going to go back with the pencil that I used before and brush up the brows. I kept the brows really soft and feathery looking, so I'm just going to kind of go back and fill in the sparse areas, but I'm not going to be too worried about making it super like structured. I just want like nice feathery soft brows. I just think it complements like the eye look really well. For highlight, I'm going to keep it really soft and go into my Essence Pure Nude highlighter. This is one of my favorites, and I love the pink undertone in this. I really just think it complements this eye look especially, so I'm just going to apply this to the high points of the face, kind of going around in a C shape around the brow, down to the front of the cheeks. I like the front of my cheeks to be a little bit bright, and then I've been loving putting a little extra highlight right between the eyes. And then putting it down the center of the nose, Cupid's bow. I'm going to skip the chin because I have a blemish. I'm just going to pop it right above the brows. Also, I want to brighten up that inner corner a little bit with this. This is such a pretty highlight for the inner corner, especially with this look, because again, the light pink color just kind of ties it all in. It's really subtle. By the way, you guys, this highlight is like $4. It's amazing. I learned about it from you guys. Thank you so much. It's the best. I'm applying it to the high points of the brow as well, just to make that look a little more lifted. So now I'm going to set the face. This is what I have closest to me. I'm just going to use the Physicians Formula Insta Ready Setting Spray. Just just kind of lock everything in place. I'm going to take the Glossier Boy Brow in the shade Blonde, and this is going to further featherize our brows. I love this stuff. And then sometimes I'll take the spoolie of the brow pencil and kind of go over that just in case there were like chunks of product that were distributed on accident. I just want this to be really soft, kind of undone brow. All right, you guys, for lips, so many of you were asking what I was wearing. Is the Smashbox Always On Metallic Matte lipstick in the shade Vino Noir. This is the prettiest berry metallic, and I feel like it's so wearable. It's kind of the star of the show, which is why the rest of the face is glamorous, but just kind of neutral. You could seriously wear any lip color with this makeup look, I feel, but this is the one that I wore in that tutorial, and I think that this would be perfect for Christmas Eve. It's just wintry, but it's not your typical like bright red, so if you want to do something a little different this year, you could go for something like this. So I'm just going to apply this on the lips. It's gonna take me a minute. It took me a while to get, you know, precise lines on the other one, so bear with me. We're gonna put this on. So that completes the look, you guys. This is my metallic berry lip makeup tutorial, which I think is perfect for Christmas Eve. Let me know if you guys end up recreating this look. Tag me in pictures on Instagram or tweet me at Allie Glines. I would love to see them. I hope you all have a fabulous Christmas. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!